ticket gets issued if they don't comply or remedy. And then number 4, if they don't pay the fine, they don't remedy the situation, that's when our Latah County Sheriff's Department gets involved and they have a little knock on the door. Now, as we know from former Moscow City Chief James Fry, what he explained to us 2 meetings ago was that unfortunately, somebody could end up with 20 tickets, right? You can't force somebody to pay a ticket, but they don't go away either. There's going to be a record of it, and it's going to be in the court system. But at least the city is doing their part to show the tax-paying residents who take pride in their homes that we're actually wanting to enforce our own ordinances that we make. So this is what this is all about. I don't like being mocked. I don't like people not taking us seriously. I want to serve. And the only people who are going to be upset about they took a book are the very few that just don't. The very few residents who are violating city ordinances. The majority of our residents are law-abiding citizens. I mean, you saw what happened when we had a resident come in, Judy, can't even find a realtor to sell her property because of what her neighboring house looks like. That's just an example how we are hurting our community by not enforcing our own city ordinances. We need to do something.
I have a question. So we have a lot of elderly residents. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against this, this is just you asking the question. So we have some elderly residents, some that are disabled, that aren't always able to get out and mow their lawn, or keep you know, they do their best, they can't afford to pay somebody. Are we going to ticket them even if they're trying and they can't always get it done? Like where, like, are we going to have to play this case
where's
by
the boundary?
case? Yeah, where's the boundary?
That's such an easy question for me to answer, Nick, and it is, what is the law state? You cannot start saying this is good for John, but it's not good for Jane. It's good for a 24-year-old, the young family, but it's not good for an 89-year-old with a home. You start doing that, you start wavering, then you just have a hot mess. You have favoritism, can't have that. And chances are maybe somebody's not complaining about that particular elder's property. We know where the chronic problems are in this town. It's not really the, you know, the old woman on the corner with maybe 2 grass. I'll cut it. If I know about it, I'll go cut it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking, because there are some of those people here that, you know, they do try hard.
You make allowance for one, you got to make it for every citizen. And that's what do they say when you get pulled over by a cop? No excuse. Not excuse for not knowing the law, not excuse for not obeying the law.
So I'm in full agreement with you on the need to enforce. We can't do nothing. And I'm also, I've read the statute, that it is the mayor's responsibility to enforce it. I think what's lagging here, is my opinion, I went through an incident recently with some people at my house that I'm in communication with our attorney with what my options are. I'm of the belief that at this point we have to involve the police.
That is part of the
I don't think that we're going to get out of that. The environment's too heated. However, that being said, I do think the solution is, in my opinion, for our city attorney to talk with the sheriff's department formally and the prosecutor formally and say, what ordinances are you not able to enforce for us? Put it in writing. We'll take it back to the council. The council will decide to remove them or alter them or whatever we have to do.
They're not going to do that, Mark. The sheriff's department's not going to say, well, we'll do this one.
I think it's more likely.
I
think it's more likely than people writing these tickets. This is my opinion.
The ticket is just a symbolism of, hey,
we're doing something.
We're doing something.
I'd rather have an actual result. I'd rather have the actual result in the symbol.
But that is a step, because if we keep waiting on a very busy sheriff department who's overseeing the entire county, not just Juliaetta, it's not going to happen in real time.
They're not that busy. They're not. They are at times, but overall, I mean, every time we brought the sheriff down here, how many times since even I've been here, they're like, no, we enforce your ordinances. Like, they almost fight for that.
Again, I spoke with 3 city clerks, our neighbors, and they have a code enforcement officer, and they don't have much of a problem. They don't. And it's only 2 hours a week. We're itty-bitty. We might only need to come once a month.
And then back to what Nick was saying, too, about it. I'm playing devil's advocate, and I also this kind of how I feel. So what the code enforcement officer is going to hit things like, oh, your grass is too tall, or this or that. They're not going to hit the things that are really causing people.
They only are allowed to hit of what we, the city hall, presents them.
So not
They're
all
not
of them.
going out, just going,
Yeah, they're doing
binoculars,
like they
what's
have a
going
list
on.
with whatever papers.
They're coming to say, what do you have for me?
Gotcha.
Well, you know, we have somebody that's building a Taj Mahal in the ditch on it, you know, things like that. So they're gonna be, their time is precious too, they wanna come in.
So they're not going out looking.
No, absolutely not. Again, it's a 4-step process, the complaint comes in City Hall, the city clerk sends out a letter, they have 30 days, hopefully they comply or remedy the situation, they don't, but then we give a ticket, okay,
Like
wait,
all
hold
the
on.
letters, not to interrupt you, but all the
Okay.
letters that were sent out, Wendy, that you sent out a while back, how many did you send? 4, 5, 3? I don't remember. Have they all actually done anything? I mean, a few of them have. But there's still a lot of mess out there to those ones that were sent.
If I could just interrupt just briefly, I did ask Todd Richardson about these ticket books, about what we would need to do, and he says he's been calling around getting information, believes he now has a handle on it. Before he can ask council to proceed, I need to make sure I have the right ticket book selected / designed to meet the city's needs, and I need to confirm that the city code has all the necessary language in it to allow us to begin issuing citations. So,
Todd told me that as well on the phone yesterday, and so this, what I'm bringing up is just us voting on the idea of approving so that Todd, the new attorney, can run with it. But he has to know where we stand on it. But we are at idle, we do nothing, okay? We are not doing our job.
Okay, I actually have the sheriff enforce things frequently, right? Okay, so where does the sheriff fit in this, in your scenario? Do we still call them and they come down and deal with it? Because there's a lot of urgent things. that
Well, they
need
get
to do.
complaints, right? They get complaints, and they're gonna convey that with the
Technically, by
city.
contract, they enforce our ordinances. I'm not saying they all want to, but.
Actually,
But
it's really
realistically,
vague what they do,
But
yeah.
that's what they do. And, you know, it sometimes takes 4 calls. I'm not in favor of any of that. I'm not against a ticket book if it's fit into.
How well has that worked for us so far?
Where do they fit into this? Are you saying we end our contract with them?
No, absolutely, because we're paying them monthly to
So we're
patrol
still
the area.
paying them, no, about enforcing our ordinances
Mhm.
specifically.
They will if needed, right? You know, they get 30 days to comply, we get a nice little friendly letter saying, hey, can you?
But
get
some of these
grass?
things don't need, you can't wait
Yeah.
30 days. And that's what,
Well, then that would be a totally different thing.
Well, I feel like if the attorney is looking at our ordinances and everything, that we should table this until he says, yes, we're good, in case we need to change our ordinances, and has the book ready. Because if we say, yes, we're good with this, and then our ordinances have nothing to stand on, you know, I think that we're kind of, I mean, we should get all the information from the attorney, what the book looks like, and then if we have to.
I actually found one online, and I will forward that to Todd for the Idaho.
I'd say from my position to the council, and I'm gonna bring this up again, I don't like the idea of decoupling from the sheriff's department enforcing ordinances.
I'm not suggesting decoupling from the sheriff's department by any means.
But I haven't heard an explanation yet how that would work.
Well, and I
I
feel
don't work
like
for the
maybe
sheriff's
we should
department.
have, maybe we should get a hold of the sheriff's department and have Richie come down, because or somebody, just so they know what we're doing, so that they're informed, so that they don't.
I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but we've already been through this. It was
Yes,
February.
we have
been
talked
through
to
this
you about
twice.
it.
About the tickets, though?
Yeah, broken record.
Yes, we
Nick.
have talked about
Yes.
it.
No, about us providing
Yes,
the tickets.
yes. It was suggested by our attorney Jennifer on speakerphone that all cities she has ever represented
Was
have their own
that,
ticket.
was that in May? Because I was gone in May. That's
Yes,
why.
it was. It
Okay,
was
so I didn't know that, because I
Yeah.
was in
There's a
May.
very
But it was
good-
in the minutes. It
There's
should have been in
a
the
very
minutes.
good chance we're gonna have a new sheriff anyway by November, December. or
Well,
January.
But the ticket book isn't gonna take away from
No.
That's what I'm saying.
them
that's-
doing it. This is just having a record saying that
We issued
207 State Street did not water her flowers, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna give me a citation for it, you're gonna put it on
It's
record.
noted, it's
And
on
then
record.
every time, it's
But
yeah, it's
again,
noted, and
we
then the
have-
sheriff goes and.
We have a contract with them, so that's something that our attorney would have to alter the contract, possibly. That's what I'm saying is, how do
I think
this
it's in
system work?
addition to, it's not altering any contract, but I tell you what, I don't want the city of Juliaetta being sued, because we don't enforce our own ordinances.
I
It's
get
coming.
that.
It's
I
coming.
understand that part of it. I'm saying that when we structure this formally, I'm telling you, I think we should involve the sheriff's department assisting in enforcing ordinances.
They are
as well.
involved. This is
Well,
our part.
maybe honestly at that point, we should have just a special meeting one night with just the attorney and the sheriff's department and talk just specifically about this. but doing this makes the town accountable.
It makes it very accountable, absolutely. It says that, okay, no, we're listening to the people who take pride in their yards and their property and their businesses, and we are listening, because right now, we're listening to the ones who are not abiding by city ordinance.
I don't disagree.
The very few.
I don't
We
disagree.
need to start speaking for the ones who choose to live here, have beautiful properties, homes, and take pride here.
I don't
And
disagree,
we're not doing it.
but there's a process to do that.
That's right, but we've had 2 attorneys tell us now, 2 different months, get a ticket book.
Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome. You know, we're stalling, we're wasting, months are just passing by, and it's just,
But we have a new attorney, and we're waiting for him to get through
yeah,
this process.
I
Well, I
know,
think
but we
that-
gotta do our part.
I think, me personally, I would like to go ahead and just move forward with getting the ticket book, and then Todd can go with which one he wants,
And
bring it
go
back
from
to
there.
us and go from there. Because we're already, we need to approve the ticket book.
Yeah.
And
But does he know that our ordinances can
Yeah,
support it?
that was one of the.
Some
things.
will, maybe not all will, and we might have to rewrite some.
Well, should we hear from him though, like?
But we have, I mean, I have a personal one-on-one, but he
We-
did,
we have
when
a
he was
new
here
attorney.
introducing
We
himself.
have a new attorney who, according to Wendy, correct me if I'm wrong, has stated he has to review.
Well, and he was here last month.
And he mentioned the ticket book.
Right, he was here for a month, and my understanding is that he said he has to review our ordinances and see how this fits in with the ordinance.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, my.
There's not a city who
That's
But
does
it's
what
not
it
not,
says.
ticket
by
book.
saying that we're doing a ticket book tonight, it's not saying that we're not writing it specifically tonight. It's just saying that we can get it ready and that we're going to move forward by getting a ticket book.
That would be us being proactive with those who are not.
But again, isn't something he's saying is he has to make sure we can even do that?
No,
with the current
no,
ordinances?
because
That's,
it comes from the
that's
council.
what I understand from
Is that what
the,
he said?
he wanted to make sure our ordinances support the ticket book.
It's like, why have an attorney if you're not gonna?
I wanna ask you this, how come we're the only city that doesn't have one? Somebody
Well-
answer that one.
We'll answer, I guess we'll get to that, but first, let's make sure we're in compliance with
That's a
it.
good question, right?
It's like, why have ordinances be on the force and why have an attorney?
So we approved the ticket book tonight and he says, okay, we can. It doesn't, there's no harm
Right,
in
no,
saying
there's
we
no
approved it.
harm.
Well, according to what he says, I need to confirm that the city code has all the necessary language in it to allow us to begin issuing citations, which sounds to me that if we don't have it, then I'm sure that we could get it.
Things
by
that get
passing
rewritten
another
or something.
ordinance.
Mhm. We need to show the community we're being proactive. we're
I wanna
listening.
wait for an attorney.
Yeah, well, that won't hurt. I make a motion to approve the idea of purchasing a ticket book with the, obviously, contingency of what our city attorney will add after that. I don't want to see the repercussions of us stalling anymore.
I wanna see us.
I don't
Right
wanna, I don't wanna stall either.
Yeah.
I don't. I do see your guys' point,
I've been down.
and that, I'm really like on that electric fence right now.
No one's saying no to this, I don't think.
No, we're just
No,
saying we
but-
wanna make sure we
I
have
know,
all
but-
the proper
Right, and I get that.
It's rights done right.
Why have the attorney discuss or pay him for his time to look into the city ticket book if we haven't agreed to get one? 'Cause
He's already looking into it, and it sounds like he's gonna be charging us for it anyway. We just wanna make sure that when it's go, not, hey, we have a ticket book, but we can't use it for a year.
So we'll
That's
have
what I'm
to come
saying.
back and we'll have to do this all over again, correct?
Well,
That's what you're
if
saying,
he
we'll do it
comes,
that way.
if he comes next month and says, yes, you're good, then we can get it, and we're instantly issuing him. But if he says, no, we have to change an ordinance, then we have to go through the process of changing the ordinance, and we're still gonna be late anyway.
Okay, that's fair, so let's say that happens, then what? Our mayor's supposed to be enforcing. Can we get you, Dick, to start enforcing? Oh, it's a state statute, our mayor has to enforce it.
What did you want?
I was just gonna say, why don't you guys say it's okay to purchase it when the lawyer says it's time to purchase it?
That's what we were saying.
That's what we just said, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're pennies, they're cheap. They're
I
not
just
even
don't want you
expensive.
to be discouraged.
Not purchase it until he says to.
Right, but I don't want you to be
That
discouraged.
we're approving it now
and-
as long as Todd goes forward and says that everything is good.
I'm not-
It's not that we wait to purchase
The
it.
way I understood it was that we were purchasing it.
No, just approving it,
No,
so
we're
whenever he
approving it.
says everything is good to
Then
go,
we don't have to go through this
then we don't
again.
have to go through this part again.
I wanna go through this part again.
Mark, stand in the corner. Stand in the corner.
This is the best part. I'm waiting for the attorney, I've said my piece.
This group is good at tabling things, I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough, I'll take this one.
So
I like lawyers.
Will
Is
you
there a
repeat
second
your
motion?
But yet you don't
please?
want to pay for it.
Will you repeat your motion, please?
I make a motion to agree on the idea of a ticket book to help enforce city ordinances when they are violated. Contingent on, of course, what our city attorney has to add, so we don't have to have this conversation again.
I am going to second that.
Saving time.
All in favor? All against?
Surprise.
I think we gave valid reasons why.
Yes, you did, and we did as well.
Yep.
Just wait for it,
You
just
did
wait
90%
for,
of it, but I do agree.
wait for the I told you so, okay? 'Cause it's coming. Oh my God. I'm being silly.
Okay, let's move on.
All right.
Council consider adopting tentative budget. FY2025.
When can we make some changes on the budget? Like some
Right
changes?
now.
Right now?
Right now.
So Mark wants to start doing it right now, let's dig into it.
Sure, yeah, I would like to, is there another budget meeting?
Don't touch Christmas.
We can make another budget
Next
meeting.
month is the budget hearing, the public hearing.
But we could call a special meeting for
I want to do that.
budget.
Right now, if you want to start digging into it, just now's the
If you
time to
need
start
to, or
it.
you
I
can
say
do
we
it
do
right
that.
now.
Now, or make a special meeting so these people can get home.
Well, I don't have to sit here.
No, but we got some stuff on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm not voting for this vote.
So I said, if you want to start making changes, you can start on part of it now, or we can do a special meeting
Do
later.
a special.
Or I just not vote for it. And that's what I'm gonna do, is not vote on it. Or vote no on it, it's too expensive.
Well, let's start making some more changes. What do you want?
It's gonna take,
I want every account looked at and see if we
it's
really
gonna take
need,
some time,
like we
especially.
went through the first day. if we
You want to
did-
do a special meeting then, not to interrupt you? Would that be better?
If that's what you guys wanna do, if you
Then we
guys.
can-
I want
make
to, I want to
adjustments.
work with you on it and go what you want to do, because I agree
Okay.
with you on a lot of it.
So we had a meeting the first time and all we did was just say.
Right, we went over what Bonnie and Dick
And
had
then,
suggested.
how many meetings have we had since then? How many budget meetings have we had since then?
Two.
At least two, and tonight was the third.
Right.
And so this is the first time anyone's really brought up any questions about the budget.
Well, there's been a few questions, but I think for me, it's a hesitation, that it's like, I don't know how to say what I want to get out of my mouth, but you're right, this is the first time it's actually been dug into.
And it's too expensive.
Mhm.
But I don't think we should rush it, so I think
Well,
a
it's supposed to
special
be a
meeting-
council decision that makes the budget,
Right.
so, and that's, doesn't
Would you
usually
like
happen.
the accountant to come and then you can discuss it with them? You know,
No, realistically, what I'd like to do is go line by line and explain why we need to raise these things. Now, I asked a few of the questions, but why do we need to raise these? And why, what can we afford to pay for? And what already?
I think that is a great idea.
I don't-
I think it's time consuming. I think we should do a special meeting for that, not tonight. Because we're not making a decision on it anyway. I mean, we're not voting on it, so.
It is 8:20, it would take us a while.
Well, I mean, whatever you guys wanna do.
I think we need a special
It's
budget,
a
or
compromise.
special meeting.
Yeah.
I don't have the other one that we went through, but when we went through
Yeah.
the one before, I had a lot of notes on it that's at home, but there's a lot of them that I did have questions on. that-
And, you know, with all due respect, my fellow council members, you know, let's look at this. Let's dig in.
Let's have a special meeting and do that.
Let's ask hard questions. Why are we doing this?
Okay, let's set up a meeting then.
Maybe there's good answers.
Right, let's do it. Be like they can do it.
Are you available any night?
No, I'm available, Wednesday through Friday is better, but I could make any night work. I can make any night work.
You?
I got a couple jobs going on right now. Oh, we're supposed to give a 24-hour notice, but I guess that's what we're doing now.
I thought it was 48.
48 for a special meeting, or is 48 for an emergency? They're a little different. The 11th is as soon as I can do it, and the only day this whole week I can do it, Thursday night, the 11th.
Well, it doesn't have to be like in the next 2
Okay,
days,
that's
but we
fine.
could do
Yeah.
like the end of July or the first part of August.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
The budget needs to be tentatively adopted before I can publish for the budget hearing, which has already been noticed to be August, whatever the next.
August
council meeting
13th.
Is everyone available Thursday night? 2 nights from now?
I am not.
You're not?
what about next week?
Monday, Tuesday is the only thing I can do next week.
Looks like I'm free,
I can do Monday the 15th.
yeah.
Oh, I can't, shoot, I forgot, I had a meeting that night, sorry.
My dog's birthday, if I can be here.
We do the 16th?
I can see.
16th will work, 16th to Tuesday, the 16th, a week from today.
Sure.
That sounds,
Make a motion, do we have a,
oh, we don't
Time,
have to do that.
time,
6 o'clock.
maybe a little earlier.
We need a motion on that, Wendy?
Yeah.
Okay, make a motion to have a special budget meeting on the July 16th at 6 p.m.
I second.
At 6?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Thank you, guys.
So I think that leaves us with just the Juliaetta TV Association, that Kat said, let's discuss this.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, because I know that a lot of our residents use it, so is it something that we want to work with the association to become part of and maintain it, or do we want to just wash our hands completely of it? You know, I just know that there is some citizens that use it, and I would hate to see it go away, so that's why I wanted to talk about this, like what is best for our citizens in our city.
Well, I think it will help that I actually spent a 30-minute conversation talking with Justin at the KUID television station in Moscow today. I had a really good conversation with him. And he had let me know that they do come out about twice a month, or, you know, if needed for, you know, a different
They
special.
don't come out twice a month. No.
Sorry, I
That's
thought
bullshit.
twice a year, it was an error. Please relax,
I
please.
know more about
Twice.
it than you.
Oh, I know you
Keep your
do.
mouth shut.
I know you do.
Okay, you
Okay.
gotta let her finish talking.
All right,
Hold on.
I, you know.
Let's just use a level of professionalism here. I think that would be great, especially since we're
I
here.
think the council, I think the council.
No, I'm not gonna shut my mouth here,
No, I think
sorry.
the council president has all the authority now to intercede. and take
Well, I'm
what
trying to
is
share some
necessary.
pertinent information to help with what you're thinking. I spoke with a gentleman named Justin and Mike, and you know Mike very well. And he said they come out about twice a year unless Mary Lou calls them for something special. In fact, they were out here this spring to go check out the tower. And he explained to me that, like it was said in last month's meeting, that they do it voluntarily. We don't have to pay them. I'll say that again. We do not have to pay them to maintain the tower. Okay?
These people from KUID.
But what about the
Yes.
Spokane channels?
No, we do, no. So where I'm going with this is, whether we have the TV Association or not, because we already know it's been disbanded years ago, okay, roughly about 2012. So if someone has an antenna up, they're gonna get the stations, right? It still works, as long as there's a tower standing, it still works. We went from analog to digital in 2012, I learned. We did lose some major channels. There's just like nothing we can do about that. I did find out, because I couldn't get a question for an answer from here 3 long months ago, who does customer call, or customer service number? And I was told that they would call that station, like KXLY, if it doesn't work anymore, or Fox News, which is channel 28. You're going to call them. So at least we kind of know who the customer would call if they don't get a channel in. So really, the TV Association right now is kind of a dirty mess right now. There's going to be a forensic audit on the whole TV Association going back from '82. I don't think we should inherit that right now.
So say that it's free, but who pays, because it's not on, it's on, whose property is it on?
Park
Hunter's.
Gardeners.
So-
He gets $500 a year. I guess that's what he's getting paid to have the tower standing there. I mean, we hardly, right, Nick? I mean, we hardly are getting our organization running like it should, like enforcing city ordinances. Do we really want to take on something so messy right now, and something that hasn't really been a legit nonprofit organization for years, and try to come up with an association, people to be, we don't even have enough people for P&Z, planning and zoning right now. They're desperate for people.
Well, that's why I thought we should have this conversation, just to see, because,
Yeah.
you know, I know that there is a lot of citizens that use it, so I just thought we should have a
They
conversation.
still can, they still can, technically, if we just let it right off into the sunset, they still can use it. Just have to have an antenna.
And then who's gonna pay?
Maintain the antenna.
But we
Well,
don't pay.
who's gonna pay, who's gonna pay
$5
for
for
the
500.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
So, like, if,
I don't know.
Didn't show up, so.
I know originally 54, back and then 62, and then 78, I think were all these that's when the donations were sent in and kept in a City of Juliaetta bank account, but as we learned last month, they haven't been going there for years. So really the question is, do we get those funds? Should we try to get those funds that we've been collecting through the City of Juliatta's water bill all those years? Should we be trying to get those funds? Because that might be enough to carry $500 a month, you know, for a while. I don't know. I think borrowing a headache that Todd is diligently working on, like with the audit, I just think it may be bad timing. That's my personal belief from all the information I've gathered, that I don't know if we should just run in there and say, okay, we're gonna rescue it, we're gonna take it.
well, and that's why I said, like, we should have this, so the public knows what's going on, so. just-
I mean, what do you think, Mark? Do you think we should be taking this
Well,
on?
we just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's
It's
in the
very-
accounts. We don't know, 501c3 or 4, is that what
It's
we're
a
talking about?
-4.
Do they have to have regular meetings with minutes? We don't have any
Yes, a
access to
whole board
those. So
association.
we don't know if there's debt, we don't know what we're taking on. That's my big concern, we don't know what
I
we're
think
taking
we
on.
should let Todd do what he's gotta do first, to see where the whole situation's at, right? And then to see if that the risk is worth, if the benefits outweigh the risk. I think it would cause mass confusion right now with the tenants all of a sudden not seeing the donations requested on the City of the Juliaetta water bill, which should have never been on there. So it might be just too soon to maybe take it over.
Well, like I said, that's why I wanted to
Yeah.
have these conversations, so
Yeah.
people know, so people can talk to us.
I feel like it's really dirty water right now with the
It's
audit being
very
going
dirty
on
water.
to take it over.
Yeah,
I'd like to say something about it too, if I may, just as a general statement is, some legitimate questions were brought up about this. Whether or not they mean what they mean, that's what the attorneys are for, that's what the auditors are for, but it's so heated, everyone needs to just buckle up and brace for impact. We're gonna learn something, we're either gonna learn that it's a nothing burger, or we're gonna learn something else, but everyone simmer down a little, we're brace for impact, we're gonna learn, the public's gonna hear some stuff, it is what it is. And the wheels are already turning.
I don't know if Nick, Mark, or Wendy, you're aware of, I learned additional names that are on signature cards.
But that's been turned over to that's in the motions, right?
Well, this is a new one, yeah, like we have people who don't even work for the city on there.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
but that's
so-
information
Yeah.
let's let them
That's what
do
Todd's
their,
gotta work out.
let's let them do their,
I agree.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm
Just
good.
maybe hold off.
Okay, table that then.
Well, we don't need it, we just
Well,
don't
we're not
need to do
making
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we can always come
by
back
the
to
way,
it.
I'm really glad
Find
that
something.
Nick wanted to do this, because people do have questions,
Yeah.
and people that were filtering through the
I'm
information.
telling people it'll still work, get your antennas.
But
Save $5 a month right now.
You guys don't even know how to get up there, so.
Fair enough.
whatever.
Well, KUID does know how to get up there and
And
they don't charge us for
we don't
it,
know
so.
for sure what's been donated, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
so,
We we'll come back to it after Todd figures out what's going on.
Okay, moving on.
Okay,
Wow.
Justin,
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mom wants you.
So the well project was not on the agenda for bids this time. There were some questions about how bids are handled and that kind of thing, so the city clerk came up and we came up with a form. It's a standard form for public bids, so I will be filling these out for every person I contact and filing these for every project that we do. So if there's ever any questions about who got called or why or how much and all that, then it's all recorded on the form. So that will help the city have a record, and if anybody calls, then we can just pull the file and there it is. The backhoe is still being worked on. They have to send a piece of the backhoe to Spokane to be rebuilt, and that's what's taking the time to get it done. Also, maybe you guys noticed that there's a service line inventory page on our Facebook page and our website. So,
About the
Wendy, about the water.
Yeah, I shared that, so
So
yeah.
Wendy was able to talk to some other cities and find out what they were doing and put all that together. We've already gotten back 2 completed surveys already today, in one day. So that will help Joe and I when we get ready to do the actual physical work. And we have to have it completed by October. Any line that's an unknown or lead, the city will have to replace at its own cost.
So is this a volunteer thing from city residents, or is this a mandatory?
It's voluntary
Oh, okay,
now,
okay,
but
because you know how that'll go.
But if we don't get it back, we may have to ask to enter their home
Gotcha.
and take pictures of their basement where the water, if they don't have a basement, we may have to dig up their water line to
Ugh.
see what it's made out of, because we can't guess.
That sounds like
We
a-
absolutely have to know.
Sounds like a job, for sure.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. And then Joe has an idea about some landscaping in the park, so you want to go next, Joe, you want to talk about that park?
Down at the park, we have a water feed that we got pumped 24 hours a day, 7 days a week into the pond. And I thought about, there's a bank there, so I thought about if we build a wall, a small wall there, like 18 inches high, and I put a pond below it that runs into the big pond and make a waterfall feature. You guys all right with that?
That would be awesome.
Just something that's not real big, something that's not very deep, so they don't have to worry about kids getting there or getting hurt. Just something that would help the park out. When it costs us anything.
Not only aesthetics, but to keep water flowing.
Well, it always
Exactly.
flows, but it'll help with, just aesthetics, and then it won't cost anything because it's already, the water's already being pumped, so.
Right.
It's just taking care of it.
Sounds
once a year.
awesome.
Once or twice a year, to see if you guys are all right with that, something we can pick up all the rocks from around town, we don't have to buy any rocks or anything.
What kind of girl open up the banner?
So, but it's already, one of the things that's, there's gonna be no extra cost, other than just
We just want
pond.
pictures next month.
Well, it's all right with your.
Is it gonna play like color, it's gonna put color in the water, music?
It might be green from the.
So is that, are you done with the staff report?
Yes.
Mine's short and sweet, so I was gonna put it on the agenda, but I talked to Wendy, after talking to this Wendy, and it really wasn't an agenda item. I'm very concerned about this breezeway here, this walkway here between the annex building and the garage. I've almost wiped out in the winter, it is coal black after 4:30. Can we Justin, can we just put like a motion detector light, just something light, because I couldn't even see the sheriff's face when we were talking on that sidewalk, just a little area right here.
It's already done.
Oh, you already did it?
There's 2 motion lights out here. No.
Well, thank you, awesome.
Bonnie asked me to do it.
Yeah, I asked her to ask you. All right, awesome. Thank you. It's just city safety, and that's awesome. Wow.
Beth Lisney approached me about her driveway. Do you know much about her driveway? 909 Bree?
Bree, yes.
It's a
It's a mess, yeah. So she said that since the Lake Hall sanitation put down at Sunshine, she said they dug up the side of the road. Is that a city park there?
It is city.
So is that something we can look into eventually paving or doing something or
Paving
fixing? or-
budget, road budget.
Right.
It will have to be undercut and dug up because it was old pavement that was recycled and put down and it was really soft and so the truck goes on it and
Buckles.
buckles. Well, Cam Kirk knows, he has to drive up there too.
909 Bree,
Questions?
Beth Lisney.
It's about
I
100 yards.
ask a question. So is it something that, is it the garbage company's fault, or is it just our Lake Road?
Okay.
Because if it's the garbage company's
Well,
fault,
it
then
sounds like it's the road.
No, they just made it worse.
They just made it worse. The road was bad.
Okay.
It was already.
But since they switched over, she said that they come in there and get her garbage different than Lake Hall did. And so it's tore it up even more with them coming and turning around the way they do.
And that might be something we can share with Sunshine.
And that's what I've been
The 10-foot
beefing up
count.
the other roads for because, putting overlays on because the garbage.
It has been forever.
But her.
Then they moved to
on the
6
list,
years
we
ago.
just- With Joe now, I think we
The
could.
rain made it worse.
I just don't know how
It
to do
needs
it
to get
myself.
shaped up and paved.
Even Josh was like, I don't know, we're gonna tear it out there, so.
Okay, that's all I had, is she
It's always-
brought it to me
We got
today.
a water hydrant up there.
Nick?
Pass.
So,
Did she get up?
this is a really hot one. After several discussions with the sheriff's department and our attorney, some a little about fireworks, not everyone likes them. Firecrackers are illegal, they're not considered non-aerial. the list of fireworks you can actually let off legally is very limited.
Smoke bombs.
And Ada County has banned fireworks, it is bannable, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but it is legal to do, you can do that in a municipality, we'd have to talk to our attorney about that. And lastly, yeah, it was a little chaotic, fireworks were a big issue this year. And in
It
light
was
of
this year.
many fires that were started,
Parkston,
there was
Oh.
there were several, so the Sam and the Army Navy stores there.
I was down
People
for
were-
they were.
And people are up and on. Anyway, so just so you know, it's getting drier, hotter, and there are things, the actual legal amount of fireworks you're allowed to let off is back to party.
and our city ordinance is extremely vague on fireworks. We might need to revamp that.
We just want to be in compliance
I would be all in
with
favor of that.
the state law. We want to be in compliance with the state
I
law.
can't beat my
is what
dog
I-
enough
What I
CBD.
came away with.
If we're too vague, you gotta go to the county, right?
No, we just had to fix it.
And whoever left the chunks in the park was very disrespectful.
That was the tenant at the manor, and I asked them not to do it.
Exists.
Well, that was very disrespectful that they.
I agree.
I
I agree.
And that's what I'm saying, is fireworks
They
can
can
be
be
used
more
for,
restrictive, but they can't be less.
I mean, they're supposed to be a celebration, not.
I love fireworks, but maybe go to the big ones.
That's all I have.
Right, well, they're talking about saying no 100%.
I asked Todd if he had any information about the Latop County Building Inspector contract, and he's been reaching out to Latop County's attorney. He's supposed to talk to him on Thursday, so he's still working on it, but we don't have an answer.
I got nothing.
Flipper.
I have not,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
nothing.